But all of us need to call it out. I'm thinking about the New York Times doing a gauzy profile a few weeks ago of this gamer, Hassan Piker, who regularly employs awful genocidal rhetoric against Jewish people in the Jewish state. Like, extremists should not be empowered. People who spout prejudice should not be platformed. This is a moment when we need to look ourselves in the mirror and say, we've got to stop this because the consequences are deadly.
Okay, so if you're not aware who this gentleman is, he is the head of the ADL, which is suggesting that we, in other words, the entire human race, needs to come together and censor the internet. Because if the internet isn't censored, more crimes will happen, right? Like, up until now, there was no crime on planet Earth. Everything was nice. Everything was peachy. However, the social media began, and it was a mistake. Now, a lot of people, because the rhetoric isn't that this may be caused due to certain geopolitical events that's happening in Middle East. It's not due to the policy of prime ministers and decisions made by generals, which could have perhaps influenced and radicalized an individual. No, it's because of Twitch and Hassan Piker. Like, Amazon is to blame entirely for not banning Hassan. Now, here's the funny thing. Hassan Piker absolutely deserves to be banned. Like, there is no person on planet Earth right now that would deserve it more than Hassan, but for different reasons. And the main different reason is the fact that if the situation was reversed in an alternate reality where a shooter would have been connected to Asmongold or H3H3, if he was connected in rhetoric, or simply just liking a video or subscribing to their channel, Hassan Piker would have been at the forefront. Like, if I close my eyes, I see him leading the vanguard in demanding that Asmongold or H3H3 be held accountable, even if they would have done absolutely nothing different, right? Like, just their channels would remain the same. I'm pretty sure that in that alternate universe, Hassan and his followers would say that they demand accountability. And so the situation is not reversed. We live in a reality where Hassan isn't just like making videos. He's inviting terrorists on streams. He appears on the New York Times and Fox News and exposés showing that he's glorifying acts of terror like 9/11, threatening U.S. senators, like all that shit. Right? And so when it happens to him, now we have to defend him. Now we have to say, well, hold on a little bit. My logic isn't that he should be banned because of a real event that happened. My logic is that he should be banned because everybody should play by the same rules. We should all be forced to play by the same meta. And if you don't like the meta, fucking change it. I don't want to live in a society of two rules where people who believe in free speech should be punished for their beliefs, should be held under scrutiny for their beliefs, while the people that are advocating for censorship should be allowed to do whatever they want. And so that is what actually abhors me. That is the real meat of the issue. I don't think Hassan should be banned. I think that if he did anything illegal, he should be taken to court, right? Like, if he genuinely incited for violence, which is illegal in the United States under the Constitution, then he should be taken to court. As long as he didn't do anything illegal, he should be allowed to speak. But again, that is in my world. And unfortunately, we do not live in my world. We live in the world of speech means consequences. And we live in the world where the law should apply to everyone, just like the rules and the unspoken rules of society should also apply to everyone. And so if I was to do something like this, right, like if I had terrorists on my stream, if I was glorifying acts of terror, and then someone ended up shooting someone in the real world and he was a follower of my channel, I would immediately get banned, right? So, like, if I know that happens to me, how can I not advocate that it happens to others? Especially when those very others are championing a system whose rules they cannot follow. This is what bothers me, right? Like, I don't champion Hassan's system, but at the same time, I'm following his system. I don't make extremist content. I don't get terrorists on my stream. I don't do any of that. And at the same time, I'm not advocating that my behavior should be enforced worldwide. Now, the interesting thing is, I said I don't think that the ADL is on our side. All right, like I'm not happy that the ADL are going after Hassan Piker, because the ADL, historically speaking, have waited for certain tragedies to happen in order to push their agenda. Like, this is not ADL in per se. It's pretty much like an American tradition. It's since Barack Obama. He actually said live, let no good crisis go to waste. And so I can't look at them as being a charitable organization that's just concerned about extremism. I look at them as a group of people with an ideology that are willing to use even tragedies in order to justify their extremist behavior, which is censorship. Yeah, I think that censorship is actually extremist in nature, especially in America. So what do I mean by this? Well, if you look at one of the previous targets of ADL, it was Steam, a gaming platform, right? Like, even a gaming platform is not free from the scrutiny of the ADL. And Steam was accused, which is, again, like a worldwide gaming platform, existed for more than a decade. Like nothing bad is happening because of Steam, but the ADL disagrees. They're saying that there's a lot of anti-Semitism on Steam, and therefore, you know, they should crack down on the free speech of their platform. Like, we should change the entire way the internet works in order to make the ADL comfortable. And it's like, okay, well, what is the extremism? What exactly is happening on Steam that is so anti-Semitic? And as you can see at the ADL, they're considering 54.6% instances of Pepe the Frog, which are like the biggest number of hate incidents recorded. So in other words, every single time a person posts a Pepe the Frog, that's a hate incident. That's an anti-Semitic incident, regardless of context, regardless of the reason it's posted. Like, I know Jewish people that post Pepe the Frog. In 2025, it's not an extremist symbol. Like, it's part of internet culture. People on the left do it. People on the right do it. People that follow Bernie Sanders. People that follow Vosh. Right? Like, left-leaning people are posting Pepe the Frog. I see even on streams that support Israel, people post the Pepe the Frog emoji, right? But the ADL have labeled it a hate symbol so that when they did their research, they counted 500,000 of hate incidents, right? And then swastikas. Now, it's the internet, right? Like, some people are edgy. Some people are being cheeky little shits. Some people just want to push the boundaries, right? Not everyone that posts a swastika is an actual Nazi. Like, not everyone wants to start the National Socialist Party movement. Not everyone believes that the Germans are superior. Not everyone that posts the swastika is anti-Semitic. Again, if you go on Discord and you actually interact with the internet, you will see that even Jewish people post the swastikas, because guess what? Jewish people can joke too. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, everyone that posts the swastika is doing an innocent behavior. However, you can't say that all of these 90,000 cases, without knowing the context, without knowing the individual, every single one is a hate incident. I mean, recently, you could drive a Tesla with a swastika in America, right? Because you could say a leftist activist just scribbled it on your car, and there you fucking go, like leftists were painting swastika. But even then, let's assume that all of them are actually hate incidents, right? Like 90,000 swastikas, 85,000 siege bombs, like all of these, right? Every single one of them is a hate incident, right? There are 132 million players on Steam. 132 million players that communicate daily. And this is your statistic? Even if we include the Pepes, it's still laughable. Like, you're willing to look at a platform that has less than 5% instances of hate, worldwide platform, and you're saying, no, we need to crack down on this, we need to bring censorship, we need to spy on people, we need to spy on their forums. And so this is why people are thinking that the ADL is a little bit disingenuous, that maybe they have alternative reasons, because if you're genuinely trying to stop anti-Semitism, if that's your mission statement, this wouldn't be on your radar. You would focus yourself on things more important. Right, so maybe when you have a shooter that actually could be linked to Hassan, you may have a case and people may actually take you seriously. At this point, I'm just thinking you're using any ammunition that's given to you. Like, literally anything. You're just waiting for something to throw at the public because your mission is to censor Steam. And by the way, like Gabe Newell was actually summoned by the legislative to answer for these things, right? In a country where you have free speech, he's not being accused that he's breaking a law, he's being accused of being immoral. And when I'm looking at the accusation, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, come on. By this logic, everything should be censored on the internet, right? Like, we should just remove free will from people to make sure that no one makes a joke, to make sure that no one thinks or does anything offensive, because otherwise bad things happen in the world. I think that bad things happen in the world regardless of the internet. In fact, since the invention of the internet, less bad things happened in the world than before, right? But again, everyone is glorifying what the ADL is doing right now because it's targeting Hassan. And I think like that's literally their point. That's literally why they're going after Hassan and labeling him a gamer. Even though I wouldn't call necessarily Hassan Piker a gamer, but the idea is like, look, he's a gamer, right? We need to look into Steam. I think that's their end goal because this is what they've published that they were doing last year. Maybe I'm wrong, right? But I am actually curious to see what you guys think. I'm not saying that Hassan doesn't deserve it, but what I'm saying is that we need to distance ourselves from labeling Hassan a gamer. Because no, I don't think that him being a gamer is the reason that he has the content that he has, that he promotes the things that he does. And I do think that the ADL, which went after gamers last year, would be very interested in linking Hassan to the gamer community in order to justify more crackdowns on our platforms and our video games. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the comments section. Take care.